This is one of the technology which I have shown to you. Now, whether these type of technology have been developed during these periods only, or this type of technology already exists in the ancient time. So my answer is yes. It was already there. However, they are not aware about the word nano, but they knew that if we decrease the size of any material, so they can change the properties of the material. So I will show you through one example. This is the nanotechnology in ancient time, and these are the two goblets, like the cup. This is known, and this 4th century old goblet shows that Romans were nanotechnology pioneers, and this is known as dichloric glass, and these are the mix of colloidal gold and silver. Means if we shine the light from outside, so it has different color, that is opaque green. But when we shine light from inside, then it is translucent red. Now you can see, well, they have optical properties. When we change the light from outside and inside, they change the color. Means at that time, the scientists know, when we decrease the size of gold and silver, they exhibit great optical properties. Not only this, this is the one of the image of nanotoids found in Ural Mountains. And these mysterious and minuscule structures suggest that there are many have been a culture capable of developing nanotechnology between 20,000 to 3 late 18,000 years old. Now, means this type of technology already exists at that century. This is the one of the example, and now this is another example: Stained Glass Museum at Britain. These are the two representations, and we show the different color. Now you can see the different colors, and here also different colors, and they are more than 100 years old, and still they are having such bright color. And but when you go to our home, then if you paint our wall, then after few years it will fade down. But here it's still bright in color. Why? Because of nanomaterial. At that time, the scientists knew when they change the size of the material, so it will change their property also, and also the optical property. So now I'm looking in these pictures, the scientists are able to create such type of colors by reducing the shape of size of nanomaterial. For example, this is one dark blue. So just they have created. Silver is spherical in shape, size 40 nanometer, dark blue. 2, now C2, same spherical, but size is different, celestial blue. Same silver, that third, now you see shiny gold, 100 nanometer size. Fourth, this one is fourth. The color is yellowish green, gold nanoparticle, 50 nanometer size. Again, gold nanometer, 100 nanometer size, coral in color. This 5. And 6 is the silver prism, red color, this one. Now, so the scientists are capable of generating several types of nanomaterials, different shape and size, with different optical and physicochemical properties. Now, when we move to another example, in India. So in India, 6th century BC, pottery Kilagri, India. This is in Tamil Nadu. So they took these pieces of pottery and ate the micrographs. And they surprised to know that these contains the carbon nanotube. And this article is published in scientific report, the Journal of Nature Publishing House. Now, this type of technology already in India also. And this is the pottery of 6th century BC. Now, I am taking another example, very important. And this is the most famous iron pillar in Delhi. And Delhi iron pillar is one of the incredible technology available right now. And this is of 1800 years old, means Delhi iron pillar standing for 100 years without origin. And it is a symbol of India's glorious past in material science or in nanotechnology. It has the credentials Indian-made corrosion-resistant iron pillar. And this is the perfect example of nanotechnology. Because of nanotechnology, at that time, we were able to prepare such type of pillar. And that has been published in the Nature Materials, one of the most reputed journal in the world that published this article in 2005. Now you can understand the importance of the nanotechnology. And till date, we are unable to prepare such type of corrosion resistance pillar with a so great efficiency. Now, what is the reason behind it? So we will also move that part also. This is the iron pillar, and this is the top part where the some of the sketches taken for the experimental part. And after analysis of these parts, it was found that it contains, this is the chemical analysis of sample which are taken from the lower portion of the iron pillar. And these are the several scientists, they have analyzed it. So carbon content is 0.08%, and in 1945 it is 0.09, 1963 0.23, and 1963 again 0.28. Then what is the major difference? That is phosphorus. 0.114, 0.174, 0.180, 0.11155. It means if we take these ratios, then we can prepare the iron, corrosion resistant iron. But the document proof we don't have when they have added these type of chemicals, because synthesis procedure is also equally important. So according to some scientists, this has been attributed to the formation of composite layer of iron hydrogen phosphate hydrate, as well as to the presence of lead in the crevices of the belt capital of the Delhi iron capital. Delhi's iron pillar. Now, this is the one belief that they have synthesized the iron pillar at the same place by forming this type of template, means forging of the Delhi iron pillar. So they have formed like this. So some of the scientists, they are saying they bring the iron pillar from some other place, but it's not true. If you see, the weight of iron pillar is about 6 tons. It's not so easy to move this type of pillar. So they have forged this iron pillar at the same place. So in this way, we can say the metallurgy of that period in India is very advanced. They know how to form the corrosion resistant iron. And we will take some more examples. That is the wood steel. Iron contains a high proportion of carbon, 1 to 1.9%. A typical sword made of wood steel, the hilt is of the iron and coated with a thick layer of gold. Now it's already there in India in museum. And this one is the historical forged welded iron cannon at Thanjavur in Tamil Nadu. And when we see the chemical composition of this iron is 93.48% iron, 0.01% chromium, 0.003% aluminum, 0.026% nickel, molybdenum, phosphorus, and carbon. Means we can say that technology available in India, especially in metallurgy, is very advanced at that time. So it means in ancient time also we have nanotechnology, although they are not aware about the nano word. Not technological change. If you how the technology changes, that is our aim to explain. Now this is the typewriter. Long time back, around 60 to 70 years back. Then after when transistors comes into the play, then there is a computer. Then more technological changes there. That is the more better, more compact computer. And on the introduction of nanotechnology, then we have perfectly compact structure and very thin computer screen, and even our CPU. How? Next, now all in only a single point. There is no need of extra CPU here. That is because of nanotechnology only. Because now we know that transistors are the important part of any electronic device. And there is an integrated circuit, ICs. So ICs form transistors. So now transistors contain billions of combinations of ICs. And because of that, we have only one system which contains all the items, that it is CPU, screen, everything. But this is the technological thing. Nobody knows about the future. Maybe in hand, you spread the screen and cover it and put it in the jail, in your pocket. That may be true in future also. Another, I have taken another example, that is telephone. When we were around 20 to 30 years back, we have this type of telephone at our home. Then it changes to pager, then phone, around 2003 to 2010. Thereafter comes the smartphone. And after the smartphone, then there is a term of smart. Now we know now after this changes from telephone to pager to wireless phone, now there is no wireless. Now we have smartphone in our hand. We can move here and there. We can do a lot of things through our smartphone only. And that is because of nanotechnology. Now moves to some other part, that is camera. So around 1950s or earlier that, they were using this type of camera. Then around 30 years back, we were using these type of cameras where there is a reel. Then after the advancement, we have these type of cameras. And now we can take photographs from drones and from our smartphones. In our smartphones, we don't require such a big camera also. They can take the picture of very high quality, even video recording also. We don't require such a big camera like this. And this happens only because of nanotechnology. Now you can see the news reporters also these days, they are carrying only these smartphones. And they cover the whole story using only this smartphone. Now, how convenient to use these phones instead of big cameras. So these changes because of the nanotechnology. And what are the important factors which cause the change in the technology? These are the few examples which we are witnessed from this to this. So there are a lot of examples in our day-to-day life that we are seeing. Now move to the next part, how it is possible. Next part is manipulation of materials at the nanoscale level. These scientists are knowing if we manipulate the nanomaterial in terms of shape and size, we can achieve the different properties, whether it is related to optical properties or electronic properties or magnetic properties. So in all the aspects, we can manipulate the physical or chemical properties of a material when we change the shape and size at nanoscale level that we have already seen in the previous slides when we are talking about the gold and silver nanoparticles. I will take those examples again. Now you can see silver nanoparticles, this color, gold nanoparticles, this color. Same thing means we have different colors of silver and gold nanoparticles when we change the shape and size. And this is the perfect example. This is the stained glass of gold nanoparticles using gold nanoparticles only. Now see, you are changing the size, which change the optical properties also. Change in the size, which change the optical properties, and also change in the shape also can cause the change in the optical property. In both ways, we can manipulate our optical properties. Now, this is very interesting. The chemistry behind the spider web. And we know spider web are very strong. And spider silk, that web, is a protein fiber, major amino acid. If somehow, if we slight change the spider web, then we can solve a lot of problems about the strength. And the material scientists, they have already synthesized spider silk in the laboratory with a great strength, better elasticity. How? By different ways. One of the ways I am showing by studying the SWT, single wall nanotube. So when the spider forms the web, so by combining with the nanotube, it forms a better wave with better elasticity, better strength, and better toughness. So now we can manipulate in the natural thing also by introducing some other nanomaterial. And in this way, we are synthesizing better nanomaterials like spider web. Now, robot. When we are talking about the robot, the name of one movie, that robot comes into the mind, where the several robots combine together and form a giant structure. like this. So why we form this type of structure? This is one of the giant one. And same that the other way, we are saying nanorobots, which enter into the human body and perform the blood delivery or repair of the tissue, repair of the cell, yeah, internal organ. So that's also true these days. And in future, we can see in our medical line also these type of things. So before moving, I will take the example of a natural phenomena which occurs in the human body. Which one is sickle cell anemia? This is the normal condition. Now, how does sickling occur? Now, mutant hemoglobin molecule. in the videos, we have seen how the switching occurs, and in the last part, it generates some cytokines, which destroys some of the internal part also. So those things inspired the scientists, and because of that, the formation of nanorobots, like this, some nanorobots we can form, which can move inside the body and repair the internal parts. So in future, we can also see this type of technology. Now, sorry. So drug delivery, heat, light, and other substances to specific types of cells. Particles are engineered so that they are attracted to disease cells, which allows direct treatment of those cells. Next, antibodies attached to carbon nanotube in chips to detect cancer cell in the bloodstream. A bandage that applies electrical pulse to a wound using electricity produced by nanogenerators worn by the patient, like this. Nanorobots are used to repair specific disease cells, functioning in a similar way to antibodies in our natural healing process. And that I will show you one video again.
Sometime in the future, the world of medicine may look very different. An infusion is administered to a patient in a high-tech clinic, but it is not a chemical preparation. It is a solution containing millions of tiny machines, nanorobots. Once in the bloodstream, they move quickly through the body, ignoring the red blood cells and battered killer cells of the weakened immunological system. They are pre-programmed to search for a specific virus. The only protection the virus has is biochemistry. Evolution never anticipated a full frontal attack by a machine. When the virus is located, the nanorobot closes in, activates a mechanical scythe, and rips the hapless virus to shreds. Although this sounds like a scene from a science fiction B-movie, nanotechnology is real, and microscopic machines exist, as does the manufacturing technology. However, for the time being, the virus is safe. The elusive part of the technology is how to power nanorobots and get them to move to the right place. At present, these microscopic machines simply drift in the ebb and flow of Brownian motion, rudderless and becalmed. What is missing is power, so how can we make a nanomotor? Part of the answer may lie in nature itself. Engines billions of years ago. They do this by a catalytic conversion of chemical energy in the form of adenosine triphosphate, mechanical energy. A motor for a nanorobot might be able to use the same principle. This experiment uses a solution of water and hydrogen peroxide. A 1 micron long rod is inserted. One end is coated in platinum, the other in gold. The platinum surface catalyzes hydrogen peroxide molecules, stripping out electrons and protons and leaving oxygen. The electrons travel through the rod towards the gold end. The protons travel along the surface in the same direction. Because they have a positive charge, they attract water molecules and drag them along for the ride. At the gold end of the journey, the electrons and protons catalyze hydrogen peroxide, breaking the molecule into 2 water molecules. This allows the rod to overcome the viscosity of the fluid and move forward. Unfortunately, these tiny vessels have no rudders. They simply move about at random. There are various solutions. One is to build in tiny magnets and then steer the nanorobots externally. The other approach is to borrow from nature again. Bacteria follow chemical scents that are somewhat like breadcrumb trails. They make short random runs, but where the scent is stronger, the straight runs are longer. Eventually, they reach their destinations. Nanorobots can also be designed to follow such breadcrumb trails. However, Brownian motion remains one of the biggest obstacles for nanorobotics. This is the apparently random motion of particles in a fluid or a gas. Nature overcomes this by using a sort of ratchet. Imagine a geared wheel knocked backwards and forwards in the Brownian turbulence. But if the wheel could be locked with each motion, then in theory it could move in one direction. So rather than have to provide energy to counter Brownian motion, the nanomachine would harness it, exactly as cells do in nature. This whole area of technology began with Nobel laureate Richard Feynman, who in a lecture in 1959, called Plenty of Room at the Bottom, suggested the idea of atomic scale machines. He told his audience, "It is a staggeringly small world that is below." In the year 2000, when they look back at this age, they will wonder why it was not until the year 1960.
Now we have seen the powering nanorobots and different type of functions they can perform inside the human body. So this is the medical use of nanomedicine in terms of nanorobots. Now when we come to memory and storage device, so in 1980s, if you purchase 2 GB drive, it cost $80,000 US, and it is a huge one. And in 1990s, the price, the same 80,000 rupees cut down to $200, the smaller one. And in 2010, we have 2 GB pen drive. It costs only $5. And now, if you go to Amazon or any site, you can see one pen drive can contain 1 terabyte memory size. In 1 TB, we have pen drive. So means that technology changed so rapidly. See, we don't require a bigger instrument, bigger hard drive. We only need 1 TB pen drive for our data storage. So that is because of only nanotechnology. The magnetic nanomaterial. Your magnetic nanomaterial have capability to store the data.